What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Brandon, and in today's video, we got a bit of a different style of video for you guys today. I actually don't have any notes prepared or any structure that I want to go through. It's more or less going to be just me talking, and I know this is going to be a really rambly one, so I apologize for that. But this should hopefully be a really interesting video for anybody that's just flat out bored or interested in what it's like to be an investment advisor. And I actually get a surprising amount of comments from you guys at home saying that you're interested in taking the route to becoming an investment advisor. So today I'll just share with you, share with you guys all sorts of stuff that comes to mind. Like I said, I don't really have a plan in terms of what I want to talk about, but I'll just try to nail off a bunch of things that maybe you're curious about. I guess I could start here with a little background on myself. I'm 24 years old, and just to clarify things up, I should probably get this right out the way. You're probably gonna say, oh, the clickbait title, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually not currently working as an investment advisor. Unfortunately, I had to do something what's called suspending my license. But by the age of 20, I went out and got my full license here in Canada. So I'm probably not gonna go through the course names to bore you guys, but I took the appropriate courses to get your license here, and I was registered working as an advisor here in Canada. Now, in order for me to make these YouTube videos, it's kind of funny how it works. Basically, any video or any piece of content that I wanted to put out for you guys, if I was licensed, it would have to go through compliance. It's really annoying how that works. I do totally understand how it works, because if you think about it this way, if I put out a piece of video or I put out a content and it's just terrible advice, right? I just make a crappy video, which I try not to do. But if I put out a god-awful video associated to my name, and I'm associated to this dealership or wherever I'm licensed with, it does put a pretty bad representation on themselves. So I understand where they're coming from, right? They're trying to save their butts. But at the same time, it is quite annoying that every video I put out would have to go through compliance. So it's just a little unrealistic for me to try and pursue this YouTube channel while being licensed. So I'm currently under what's called a suspension. I know that sounds pretty bad, but it's actually not all that bad. I basically have a few years and I can just renew it whenever I want, but just get that out there. But background on myself, which I think will set the stage for this video, I do still work full-time at our firm. So although I'm not licensed, I'm technically working as what's called an associate, an assistant, where I'm learning the ropes. I see all the day-to-day management, and really it's more or less just the title, like a legality. I don't even know if that's the right word to use there, but am I enjoying being an investment advisor? Let's start with that. I guess I'll start by saying, I already started the video. I guess I'll say that there's definitely pros and cons, okay? It's kind of like a love-hate relationship. There's certain aspects of being an investment advisor that I absolutely love, and there's some parts that I don't find all that interesting. And that's just me personally. What a lot of people don't understand about investment advisors is what they're actually doing is very much playing an educational role for their clients. A lot of investment advisors, especially if you work somewhere at like a bank, I guess you could say like an entry level, like you just start out and you just start working as an advisor, a lot of them are licensed strictly to deal with mutual funds. Okay, so that's one of the investment products, and we've done videos on mutual funds if you're new to the channel here. But if you're licensed and solely licensed to do mutual funds, a lot of times what your role is, or what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, is you're meeting with clients for an hour or however long it takes, and you're assessing their situation and you're lining them up with a product that suits them. They're really kind of like that middleman. And I know personally, before I dove into this investing space a number of years back, I used to think that investment advisors were the ones crunching all the numbers, doing all the data gathering, looking at all the analytics, and basically managing each and every holding in a portfolio. For the most part, that's actually not the case. Now, I'm lucky enough, I'm honestly blessed when I think about it, that is what we do at our firm. And my dad's been an advisor for, I don't know the exact number of years, and if he's watching this video, I should probably know that, but it's 25 years plus of being an advisor. And I was so lucky to have a road or a path paved right in front of me, and to come into a very well-developed family-run firm that we have. And at our firm, we do actually manage the individual holdings of our clients. If a client comes in with $1 million, some advisors would simply pop that into a mutual fund. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but at our firm, we actually go out and purchase individual securities, basically construct the portfolio from the ground up, and we manage that portfolio on a day-to-day basis, right? Rebalancing, deciding whether to bump up holdings, reduce holdings, wipe out holdings. The actual portfolio management part is very apparent at our firm, which, like I said, I don't know if that's necessarily the standard. That is what I love about being an investment advisor. And that's actually why I have this channel here, because it gives me the opportunity to come out here and teach that aspect of actually managing a portfolio, the aspect that I believe is important for you guys at home. If you're like a beginner investor, knowing how to manage your own portfolio, that's what this channel is really dedicated for. And that's the aspect of investing that I love. Now, personally, and this is just me, I don't necessarily enjoy spending a good chunk of the day actually meeting face-to-face with clients. It's not that I don't like the clients or anything like that. I'm actually just, personally, I'm not as comfortable meeting with somebody like face-to-face. It's kind of funny, I can sit here and make videos for however many people to see, but at the same time, I can just take as many takes as I want here. Whereas if I'm sitting in front of a client, it's a different story, right? And maybe that is because I'm still relatively young, but that's the side of investing that I personally don't like. And if you're someone that's looking to become an investment advisor, you got to understand that that's really the main focus of what the job kind of entails. Don't get me wrong, you're still going to be managing portfolios, but like I said, if you take a mutual fund route, for example, at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're lining them up with products. You let the fund manager manage the portfolio. You're kind of just that middleman, and your job is really to talk and kind of just educate the client. So I don't know if that was like super obvious and like a waste of time for me to say that, but I thought that it would kind of be important to just understand what you actually do on a day-to-day basis. You're basically going into work, and let's say you have X amount of clients coming in today. You're spending a lot of the day educating them, preparing their portfolios and educating them. But like I said, I actually much prefer the actual technical side of investing. And I guess we can move on to another topic to talk about. And this is one that probably a lot of you guys are interested in, and that is how much do advisors make, or how are they compensated? And you always, or I used to always think, like, you hear about an investment advisor or financial advisor, they're out on their yachts and they're out on vacation all the time, and they're like, they're making all this money while their clients are doing whatever, this and that. For sure, if you have a built-up book or a built-up client base that you've been working on for a while, a number of years, you can very well be making a good chunk of money. But for many people starting out, don't even think that that's the reality of how things are going to work. In fact, starting out as an advisor is one of the most difficult grinds out there. I've had friends, I actually had a good friend who actually just quit Raymond James, I think within the past couple of weeks, because he wasn't enjoying this route. I know people that, let's say you want to become an investment advisor, you want to learn about this new hobby, and you go work at a bank, and they absolutely hate it because the bank is putting a lot of pressure on them to just constantly gather new assets and constantly build up their book. Of course, when it comes to being an advisor, at least for most people, they're going to be compensated based on the size of their practice, or of the assets that they manage. If one advisor manages $100 million, he's going to make a lot more than somebody that manages $30 million, right? It's in almost all cases nowadays, it comes down to earning a percentage of your book, or of your assets that you manage, or assets under management. You think back to like the olden days, kind of what you think about when you hear about the stock market, this or that. Those were times when advisors made their money off of commissions. Okay, the industry has actually shifted a ton. I mean, it's all I've ever seen, but you have to look back at history. They've shifted a ton from transactional or commission-based compensation to fee-based, and it really is the right thing to do. Because you've probably heard about the stories of like stockbrokers just churning accounts and just making a bunch of trades, like saying, hey, I found a new stock for you, or hey, that stock's not good anymore, this or that. Because of course, each time they make a trade back in the day, they're making a commission off that trade. That's how they get paid. That's how they bring home the bread. Nowadays, almost all forms of compensation are in the form of percentages. So let's say you make 1% or 1.5% on a client. That's your fee for managing them. Whether that be through a trailer fee on a mutual fund, maybe someone will know what that is if you're a little more like involved in the scene, or you just charge a fee for your service. when you charge a fee, you actually have the incentive for your clients to grow their wealth, right? If you're just trading commissions, like, I hate to say it, but you could just be trading, and their accounts could be going down the drain, but the advisor's still making their commission back then. Nowadays, the advisor and the client's goals, they have to be aligned. If the advisor wants to make more money, they have the incentive to grow their client's wealth, right? As their portfolio gets bigger and bigger, so does the advisor's income. I wish maybe I could look it up. Probably should have looked it up before the video here. Like I said, this is just going to be a rambly one. Average investment advisor salary. The average investment salary in Canada is about $50,000 per year or $25 per hour. Entry-level positions start at $30,000, $31,000 per hour, while most experienced workers make up to $85,000. So I guess point being here is that for many entry level positions, like if you're someone around my age and you're thinking about getting into the investment space, you're probably not going to be making all that much to start, at least. If you're able to build up your own practice, your own firm, and attract a lot of assets, the sky's the limit, right? You can make easily hundreds of thousands of dollars, even up to $1 million per year. I always think it's cool to envision it like, let's say, for example, you earn 1% on your client's assets. If they have $4 million, let's say you're managing $4 million of their money, let's say you're dealing with some high net worth clients, that's $40,000 a year that you're pulling in revenue from that single client alone. That's what many people make working a 9-to-5 job. You could be pulling that in from one client. Now, imagine if you're able to land yourself like a $20 million client or a $50 million client. I know that sounds pretty absurd, but maybe you manage like a company's assets or maybe some form of family trust or a family with a lot of money. You could be pulling in lots of money. There's absolutely potential to make a ton of money in being an investment advisor, but I'd say for most people, to keep it real, it's probably going to be a pretty standard job. I will say this though, aside from the money, which is obviously important if you're looking at like what career you want to take, what I love about being an investment advisor is that it is probably one of the most rewarding jobs out there, especially if you have appreciative clients, if you're actually able to educate them and guide them on the right path. Because a lot of people out there, they don't have the first idea of how to invest, how to manage their finances. It's not taught in schools. A lot of families don't have much history, educational history in passing down to their kids. So really you kind of just repeat the traits and the patterns and behaviors of sometimes like the poor behaviors of your parents. That's, hate to say it, but that's the majority of people out there. So they're coming to you with absolutely like no knowledge and really putting their trust and relying on you to help shape their future. And if you're able to do that and be compensated for it, it is just one of the most rewarding things out there. There's not too many other jobs where you can actually help people and get paid for it, right? You think of someone like a vacuum salesman, where they're actually like, well, not to say that there's like, you could be selling some really good quality vacuums out there, but you think of those like sleazy door-to-door salesmen where, yeah, they're making their buck, but at the same time, they're not really like, they're just selling their product or whatever. Being an investment advisor is one of those rare places, one of those lucky fields where you can actually help people and get rewarded for it. And that reason alone right there is really what makes this a very, very special job. And like I said, I'm hoping to take that knowledge and take that whole mindset and spread the awareness through YouTube, right? Through a platform here where I can reach actually millions, I was gonna say thousands of people, but millions of people. I think the channel is actually coming up on 1 million views. So it's without a doubt a rewarding job, and I'd say a very important job, right? You play a very important role in the lives of your clients. Honestly, don't know how long this video is getting, and you could probably see why I'd like to kind of give some structure to my videos so they're not all over the place. But I guess I'll say, like, I'll give a couple more points to wrap up this video. Being an investment advisor, it's more than just a 9-to-5 job. Okay, that's a good point to make. It's not like you're gonna go to the airport, throw bags for 8 hours, come home, and then go play PS4 or go watch a bunch of movies. Not that you can't do that, but if you're managing and if you're responsible for the well-being, the financial well-being of your clients, it's really an ongoing, like you're never really off the clock being an advisor. You always have to be keeping up with what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the markets, constantly furthering your education. That never stops. Obviously, you can take time off and have your free time, but you are constantly learning. And actually, speaking of constantly learning, if you want to actually work in the investment space, You have to do what's called continuing education. There's a set amount of things every year, set amount of credits that you have to take just to prove that, hey, listen, I didn't just get my license. I have no idea what I'm doing. Times are changing, the market's evolving, and I don't care about that. Every year you have to keep furthering your education just to make sure that you're up to date with things, which is very powerful, right? That you should be doing that in any industry, let alone one where you're managing finances. Oh yeah, I guess a good place to end this video off, especially relating to the title of this video, is what it's like being a younger investor, right? That's what the title of this video is on. And obviously, there are some major setbacks or drawbacks to being young and unexperienced in a field where, for the most part, you need experience. I've actually been so surprised. It was one of my biggest worries when I started working at our family firm that no one was going to take me seriously, right? Screw this freaking kid. This kid's a rat. He doesn't know what he's talking about. You're 20 years old, go do whatever you want. That's what I honestly thought. And I have never, literally, I have not come across a client, at least at our firm, who's ever treated me that way or ever given me any sense that they thought that. And maybe they're just really good at hiding it. I like to do the best that I can to make up for that lack of experience with knowledge and continuously furthering my learning. Looking back at history, seeing maybe I didn't live through a market crash yet, but I know how people react. I've seen the numbers, I've seen the data, and the further that I go out and study for that, the better I can relay that information, even though I haven't been there. But despite being a younger investment advisor, if you still have the knowledge, people respect that. Because like I said earlier in this video, the vast majority of people have this no knowledge when it comes to investing. Even though I'm young, because I've gone through the courses, because I've been working in this space, that to them is enough to often overlook, yeah, you're younger, you may lack experience, but you have the knowledge. You sure as hell have more knowledge than them. And that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. They're coming to you for your expertise, whether you're younger, whether you're older. If you know what you know and you're confident in your education and what you can provide, what value you can provide for them, they respect that. Despite being a younger advisor, despite being someone that's in many cases younger than most of the clients, pretty much all the clients that I talk to, other than of course my close group of friends. But no, being a younger advisor, at least for me, hasn't been much of an issue. Then again, I've also I've had a path laid out for me where I've had a mentor in my father and my dad. They respect my dad. I guess that kind of trickles down. So like I said, it's probably not the best example for all advisors out there, but that's my personal situation. I guess to finish off this video, I kind of touched on this earlier, but if you're still sticking around, maybe this will interest you. How much do I make as an advisor? And I'm not going to disclose the exact amount because in fact, I actually don't know the exact amount. It fluctuates every month, right? The clients are, obviously the percentages that you're going to get is going to be varied every month. But I'll tell you this, as I touched on earlier, I'm not making a fortune being an advisor, being a young advisor, or at least working here at a firm. Before this, I spent a few years working at the airport, working full-time, started as a summer job as a ramp agent, kind of just fell into a role there, was working full-time, making a full-time income. I wasn't making a whole lot more. In fact, it was actually quite even when I started working as an advisor. Now, of course, as time has gone on, my cut has kind of gone up a little bit. Not to mention I've been supplementing my YouTube earnings and whatnot, which has made my overall income more than it was. But starting off as an investment advisor, your pay can be very comparable to just working pretty much another job. In that case, with no formal education required, you just go apply and work at the airport. Courses, should I talk about courses in this video? It's probably getting too long. If you're still sticking around for this video, you're probably you're probably pretty bored or really interested, or maybe not even watching. Maybe it's on in the background because, like I said, I know this is a sloppy video. I guess I'll just touch on what it's like to be an investment advisor. I guess I'll talk about that. Becoming an investment advisor, it does require schooling and courses and education. And what I really like about being an investment advisor, or at least getting your license here, is it's completely on your own time, right? You don't have to go through a 4-year program and then do these 2 years, this and that. There's exams or there's licenses, there's exams or courses that you have to take and then pass. Once you get those set amount of courses done, you've got your license. And then from there, you can decide, well, once I got my license, do I want to apply at a bank? Do I want to apply at an investment firm? You can take your pick, right? And what I really like about that option is that you can go on your own time, right? You can you could be working a full-time job and after work in the evenings be ripping through your course or just slowly trucking along through your course. If it takes you a month to blitz through it, it takes you a month. If it takes you a year because you like to be slow and more methodical with it, you can do that as well. It's really just like one of those work on your own times. When you're ready, take the course, take the exams, you pass, you go on to the next course. And I do really like that. I'm actually going to be doing a video hopefully later in the week talking about one of the courses. I see the textbook on the ground over there, the Canadian Securities Course, which is really the first major course that I took and the first major stepping stone that you have to take if you want to become an advisor here in Canada. I'll do a little review and just talk about like my thoughts on the course, the book or the textbook, the course. It was a while back now, like over 5 years ago that I took it. So I'll have to kind of think back, but I'll give you guys my thoughts on whether it's worth it, whether it's not. At the end of the day, to wrap up this video, what it's like being a younger advisor, it's interesting. I guess that's a good way of putting it. It's interesting. I wouldn't say that this is my dream job, being an investment advisor. In fact, I think I can say for certain that my dream job would be working online, kind of more of a millennial thing to do. That's my personal dream job, working on my laptop from home, from wherever I want. I know almost for a fact that that's what I want to do, but I love the content and the the technical aspect of investing. So in my opinion, I'm in a perfect situation where I can take the knowledge that I've acquired, the education that I've got, the background that I have working at the firm, and incorporate that with YouTube. That is my personal, that's my dream goal, and that's what I'm going to intend to do. But for many people out there that are thinking about becoming an advisor, you have to ask yourself the question, do you know what the job entails? It's a lot of education, okay? You're probably not going to learn. You're probably not going to be, if you're looking to get into becoming an advisor because you want to be an outstanding investor, you're probably not going to get the education that you want unless you have a mentor. I've learned about 80 to 90% of the stuff that I know today because I've had my dad as my mentor, because I've got to integrate into the firm and actually work on and manage the portfolios on a day-to-day basis. If I just simply wanted to become an advisor and take the textbooks, like go through the coursework, simply go through the courses and just be like, okay, done with this. I got my license. Now I should have expectation on how to invest. I hate to break it to you, that's not how it's going to work. It's kind of like, if I just think of an analogy that pops to my mind, you could have this scrawny old dude who goes out and he's really book smart and he goes and gets his personal training license. But if he's never stepped foot in the gym, dude, he's going to be pumped. He's not going to know how to pump weights at all. And if you're trying to learn from somebody, you're actually much better off going to that guy who has no education, but has actually been there and done that. Becoming an investment advisor because you want to learn about investment advice, the courses aren't going to get you there. You have to, I hate to say it, you have to find a mentor. You have to find someone that can help educate you in that space. This is a terrible, terrible video, but I guess I'll probably, if you're watching this, I decided to throw it up. I'll probably edit it anyways. Actually, just kind of like getting familiar with the new background. I moved the table up rather than having it against the wall, which does feel a lot better. Let me know what you guys think of the video. I know that as soon as I hit the end button on here, I'm going to think of so many topics that I should have covered, but I don't want to waste any more of you guys' time. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below, guys. I'll happily answer them. If you made it around this far, you're a true supporter of the channel, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. We post a video every week. If you want to head over to our website, you can drop your email to be added to next month's membership giveaway. Feel free to do that. If you want to take a look at our course, which is coming soon, drop your email if you want to be involved in the beta launch, or just join our membership group. Those are all options available on the website. But as always, I thank you guys for watching. Sorry for the terrible video. I'll see you in the next video. Go Raptors.